What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We're back here again with yet another expansion rebuild. This time we have a little bit of a twist added though. A few of you guys asked me to go ahead and do that Vancouver Kodiak Expansion Rebuild, and here I am delivering that. But to add a twist to this one, we're going to make it interesting because to start this expansion rebuild, I get to start with a superstar. Now, not of my choice. It has to be random, which I'll show you how we're going to do that in just a second. So let's go ahead and jump in and do this expansion rebuild with the twist with the Vancouver Kodiaks. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. YouTube tells about 56% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So you do fall into that, want to change that as we're on the road to 50,000 subs. That would be greatly appreciated. So the expansion rebuilds, they've been a ton of fun lately, but we can't just keep them basic and the same, which is why we have kind of an interesting one here. So I actually didn't auto sim the draft. I kind of gave myself a pretty decent, it's not a great roster. Like, there's a couple interesting pieces here, but we don't have like Jeremy Grant's contract we've dealt with every single time. It's honestly pretty, I honestly gave myself a pretty favorable cap situation, not gonna lie, but it's fine. It's no big deal. We still got to build the team out regardless. But the one thing, like I said, we're gonna be able to add a random star to this team. I don't know who it's gonna be yet, but this is how we're gonna do it. So basically, I'm gonna go to team selection, and we are just going to simply scroll, like do like this, and then whatever team I land on, I can take their star player to build around on this expansion team. So without further ado, let me go ahead and close my eyes, and then let's say in like 3, 2, 1, the Brooklyn Nets. Are you kidding me? Of all teams we could have got, okay, that's boring. I'm sorry, there's literally no star on Brooklyn right now. Let me redo that. That's actually hilarious. So I could have gotten Cam Johnson or Claxton. That sounds honestly atrocious. That doesn't even sound fun. So I'm redoing it. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. The Celtics. Okay, I could take that. That feels a little bit, or I don't need a team select the Celtics, but basically we're going to take Jason Tatum, I guess. So Jason Tatum is no longer on the Boston Celtics. Instead, he's on the Vancouver Kodiaks. So let's go ahead and put him on the team, and we can start to look at what we could do going forward. Jason Tatum leading charge. So Jason Tatum is now on the Vancouver Kodiaks. Welcome to the team. Very happy to have you. And obviously here is the rest of the roster. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rotation. So it's going to be Shake Milton, Malik Beasley, Amir Coffey, Jason Tatum, Quentin Post, Aaron Wiggins, Keita, DeAndre Jordan, Marvin Bagley, and Gee. So obviously a lot to figure out here still. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move Wiggins to the 3. So he actually starts at the 3 for us. So it'll be Aaron Wiggins, Beasley, Tatum, and Quentin Post. And honestly, should be very interesting if Jason Tatum leads us to the playoffs in year 1. I guess I'll leave a shot and see the way it is. But there's a good chance he leads us there, maybe, if he just goes off. But obviously, I have my doubts about that. So we're going to go ahead and simulate the rest, or simulate. There's no rest. We haven't even started year 1. We're going to simulate year number 1, and we're going to see how this team does. I'm excited. Tatum is the superstar we're starting with. And we'll see what kind of team we can build around him. So at the end of year 1, Jokic wins MVP, Stephon Castle Rookie of the Year, Russell Westbrook 6-man WIM Defensive Player, Aaron Wiggins Most Improved Player, which is cool. He shot 39% from 3 as well. That's great to see. 14 points per game, and Shea is your clutch player. Chris Finch, Coach of the Year, and Hobson is your executive. So here's your All-NBA first team. All-NBA second team, as Jason Tatum does make it. He averaged 32 points per game, which obviously makes a ton of sense. Starting with Jason Tatum is obviously a great way to start a rebuild. So we obviously could have started with freaking Claxton or Cam Johnson. But, dude, that would have been so boring. I've traded for both those guys. They're pretty easy to trade for. So, and Quentin Post makes an all-rookie second team. So shout out to Quentin Post. But, guys, for the first time in a first year of an expansion rebuild, we actually made the playoffs, which is interesting. We're the 5th seed. So let's see what the player stats look like. So we had 32 from Jason Tatum, 14 from Aaron Wiggins, 13 from Shake Milton, 12 from Beasley, 10 from Bagley, 9 from Keita, 7 from DeAndre Jordan, and 6 from Quentin Post, 5 from Gee, and then 5 from Amir Coffey, 1 from Chris Murray. So not too shabby. We got Cleveland in round 1, and then Baltimore didn't even make the play, or I guess they made the plan. So yeah, I added the Baltimore Blue Crabs. So just been adding random expansion teams when I do these, but they didn't make the playoffs, which, by the way, their roster was probably pretty good because they drafted all, like, the really good players that were in it. So, like, they have Fred VanVleet, Levine. Like, it just doesn't... De'Aaron Fox. Like, again, 2K's protections and expansion drafts is so stupid, but I didn't, like, really manually protect everybody this time. I just let it roll. And that's the kind of roster you could build if you just, trust 2K's protection on... yeah, it doesn't make sense. But, regardless... We are the 5th seed, so let's go ahead and submit the playoffs against Cleveland and see if we can't take them out. I have my doubts about that. Okay, you know what? We were down 3-0, and now we've won 2 straight. So give less minutes to DeAndre Jordan. Yeah, that'd probably be ideal in this day and age, but maybe we don't even have the choice or the luxury of that. And we are going to... Are we about to force a game 7? Dude, that was honestly way too close for Cleveland. Pretty bad on their end, but all good. So we lose in 6, which is fine. We got New York and Indiana, and the Knicks and Mavericks, and the Mavericks going to win it all with Anthony Davis as your finals MVP. LeBron James going to try to call it a career, but we'll let him keep around for a couple more years. Okay. We have Washington with Wizards, and Washington having the #1 overall pick. Utah with #2, Magic 3, and then the Wizards via Memphis have the 4th overall pick, which isn't that from the Marcus Smart trade that just happened? Like, I know it was like a 3-team deal, but that's actually pretty insane. Wow, the Wizards, I guess the Grizzlies just sucked really badly. 20th overall selection. Obviously, this isn't from start today, but we have the 20th pick. So, Mac is going to remain the head coach for now, because I noticed in the last video when I didn't hire someone right away, I was actually able to get a better head coach next year. So we're going to leave him right now. We actually made the playoffs and almost, got really close to winning a series as well. So we're picking 20th overall. So I kind of want to see who would potentially fall to us. So let's see if we can get somebody good as Wizards. Get Cooper Flagg. Got Utah getting Dylan Harper. And then Ace Bailey to Orlando, which is a pretty good fit there. Let's go see who we can get at pick 20. So we have Carter Bryant. We have Jace Richardson. Ben Seraph. Ian Jackson. Colin Murray. Nolan Traore. Cam Jones. Alex Carabin. Eric Dixon. Noah. Okay. I think I'm going to go Nolan Traore here. Although Jackson Richardson from Michigan State. Jace Richardson. I don't think I've ever drafted him before. He's got a ceiling of Hall of Fame. So maybe we should go with his direction. So I'm going to go Jace Richardson here at Michigan State and welcome him. I don't think I've ever drafted him before in a rebuild, so welcome. And then we have an early second as well. I guess it's a middle of the pack second. We'll go Eric Dixon. That's fine. All right, so not bad. So we have a couple guys to pair with Tatum, our superstar to start the rebuild with Richardson and Eric Dixon. I don't know how much Richardson will play year 1, but he might get some run. So Chris Murray and Ben Shepherd will both be accepted. Corey Joseph, I'm fine with declining that. And then qualifying offers, nothing. Okay, for free agency, we do have all the money in the world to sign somebody if we truly wanted to. But I don't want to make it too easy. Like, yes, I might sign somebody, but again, like, I still don't understand why Brendan Miller always finds himself as a free agent. I'm not going to sign him this time because I got him in yesterday's video. But it's just so weird that he's here every time. But all right, let's take a look at our rotation. So we have Shake Milton as a starting point guard. Ben Shepherd and Richardson. You have Wiggins, Council, Tatum, Gee, and then you still have Chris Murray. You have Quentin Post, and Kita, and Iguodaro. So it's not bad. Obviously, ideally, I think we can add one rotational piece this offseason that will be a long-term, value for us. So who do we want that to be? And I want to see if I can make it somebody different than I usually sign. So Ty Jerome is definitely different. I don't ever sign him, but he's a little older than I'd like him to be. Quentin Grimes, who's honestly been really good in the 2K sim, I've noticed. I've seen him develop to an 87 overall, so giving Quentin Grimes an offer sheet could be interesting. I don't really go for him very often, but I don't know, I might stay away from that too. You have John Collins, Bobby Portis. We kind of have small forward and power forward situation fine, and then center. So Quentin Grimes definitely has my attention, but is that too much money to go for? I don't know. Point guards, we have Kevin Porter, Trey Mann, Brogdon, Trey Jones, Ben Simmons, Dinwiddie, Davion Mitchell. You got Downton, Markelle Fultz. Okay. Then you have what? Brandon Williams down here, 25 years old. I guess I'm going to go with Quentin Grimes. I don't sign him all that often, and I haven't really had him featured in a rebuild lately, and he is a restricted free agent. So we'll see if his offer sheet gets matched. Now, this is quite a bit of money to throw at Quentin Grimes, but he's been good, and we're going to guess, I guess in this scenario, we're going to try to make him our second option to Jason Tatum. So we'll see how that goes. And I don't know if they're going to match it. Oh, they did. Wow. So the 76ers matched the offer sheet pretty easily. So maybe we don't find our second star this offseason. I know Quentin Grimes is not really a star, at least not yet. Maybe he becomes one. I don't know. So we just basically need, I think, a starting point guard. We can rock with this again. So give me, you know what? Screw it. Give me Ty Jerome for a couple years. We'll give him a 2-year deal. Don't sign him ever. So let's see if we can give him to come here for a couple years to the Nets. They'll have or Russell Westbrook, or even D'Lo, Fred VanVleet. Or we can even give Kevin Porter Jr. a contract and see what we can turn him into if he turns into anything. I don't know. Not really liking the player pool here, but if we're not going to get Ty Jerome, although we could probably make a better offer, but that's fine. I guess give me Kevin Porter Jr. on a 2-year deal. So we'll see what we can get out of him for a couple years as a starter. Actually, Ty Jerome accepted our offer. But I'm going to take the younger piece. I'm going to go Kevin Porter Jr., who's a little bit cheaper anyway. So we're going to go with that. So Kevin Porter is going to be our free agency additions. Nothing to write home about. But there could be more moves made at the deadline. I just don't like this free agency too much. And I don't want to go crazy if it's not needed. So Kevin Porter actually regressed down to a 78, which is a little disappointing. But maybe his value or his Oh, Tatum regressed too. Very surprised by that. 27 years old, going down to a 93 overall. That's not great. Iguodala, you have Chris Murray up. So there's some guys going up. I think at the deadline, there's a chance we make some kind of aggressive trade approach to some situation. But we can really attack any position. I think the forward spots are fine. I think Wiggins is fine as a starter going forward. And then we need to find a power forward, or sorry, we need to find a center and guards, I think is where we're really looking right now. So let me load this rotation up and I'll show you what it'll look like for year 2. So rotationally, things still don't look great. Aaron Wiggins, 80. Tatum, 93. So you got Kevin Porter Jr., Shepard, Nemaskita, Quinn Post, Shake Milton, Iguodala, Gee, and then Chris Murray. So this team actually made the playoffs last year, which is very interesting. But we're going to see if we can't make it again. But I guess we shall see. So I will see you guys at the end of year 2, unless if I stop the deadline, which is definitely a real possibility. But right now, this team is doing pretty good, so that's kind of interesting. It looks like Tatum leading the way has really worked well. We'll see if we can add somebody to take some pressure off of him, because that could probably be a useful thing to have happen. So we're at the trade deadline as we're 25 and 26 on the season at this current moment. I'm looking to acquire another player, basically a second star if possible, that we can kind of build the roster around these two. So Tatum was obviously the guy we started with, and I was kind of looking at team intel to kind of see who could potentially be available for us. And I've landed on the idea that Jokic is an option, which would be kind of crazy, but it is possible. They're selling, they suck, I don't know. So they're willing to get rid of him, basically. The other one that I kind of like the idea of is getting LaMelo from Charlotte. So I think either way, both of them would be pretty awesome to bring in. So I'm going to see, we can start with Nikola Jokic, which I think Jokic will be a little bit tougher to trade for, but one of these guys will end up being a Vancouver Kodiak at the end of the day. So let's start with Nikola Jokic, which is going to be the really tough one to pull off, but we're going to try anyway. So obviously Tatum's going to stay out of this trade. We're going to have to throw as much value in here as possible. So Kevin Porter Jr. is going to start it off, I guess. And then let's throw in Richardson, who doesn't have much trade value. Our first has 2-star trade. I mean, the odds of I feel like the odds of us getting this to go through is very slim, but it's worth a shot. Who would be our best player? I guess Aaron Wiggins would probably be the best player we could throw in here. But again, I doubt Denver accepts this trade so far. So this package for Jokic, does it get done? My doubts are highly... Yes, that's not going to be enough. What about for LaMelo? Let's see if LaMelo Ball... Because this is probably our best offer, honestly. So LaMelo Ball, and we have to throw in another player in here. And then we get Monte Morris. Ooh, whoops. Oh, just kidding. I guess they have... okay, what about this guy too? Okay. So all this for LaMelo. This may not even be enough either. No, it's not. LaMelo Ball will not be on this team either. All right, so we actually may not have as much trade value as I maybe thought we did. Shepard isn't going to get it done, so we might have to shoot for something much lower. So I was hoping to get LaMelo or Jokic, but we don't really have a great trade package right now, honestly. So Iguodala probably doesn't have much trade value. So LaMelo and Jokic is not going to be possible. So we might have to shoot down a little bit. But there's still some, I'm sure there's still somebody we can find. You know, another interesting player that's not necessarily a star, but it's Andrew Nembhard. Andrew Nembhard could be pretty interesting to bring in. He's not someone I trade for all that often. And I remember after the playoff series, I did a rebuild on him by making him a star, like a breakout guy if he had a bigger opportunity or a bigger role. So Nembhard definitely kind of intrigues me a little bit. So obviously we won't offer this much for Nembhard, but we could probably get to something, I would assume. So Kevin Porter or Nembhard straight up probably doesn't get done. Kevin Porter's averaging 16 right now. So I'm going to offer this straight up and see what the Indiana Pacers say. So they actually want to counter me. They want a top tier protected pick. They'll give me TJ McConnell. I'd rather not take on TJ McConnell, to be honest with you. I will give you my unprotected 2026, though. Now, let's see if they would do this. So they want... Nah, I can't do that. So Aaron Nesmith is interesting because we could... bring him in, but I don't... Okay, so that was done. So it didn't cost us a lot. It cost us one first, which is only our first this year. But Andrew Nembhard, to me, feels like a really good piece that could be our starting point guard going forward. So it's not a second star necessarily, but him, Wiggins, and Tatum, I feel good about being starters going forward. So we can rock with that. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully he leads us or helps lead us to the playoffs, but I really like that addition, and it's different from what I usually do, so that's why I like it even more. The Luka wins MVP on the Lakers. Cooper Flag is your Rookie of the Year. Russ is your sixth man wave defensive player. Brandon Miller, most improved. And Shea is your clutch player. And Mark is your Coach of the Year. So here's your All-NBA first team. All-NBA second. You got Jason Tatum making it still, averaging 31. So he's been a stud, as expected. And then here's offensive first team, all defensive second team. So we are not in the playoffs, but we are in the play-in, which we're in the East, sorry. So we're the 7th seed. We get to play the Orlando Magic. So here are in the season stats. You had 31 from Tatum, 13 and 6 from Andrew Nembhard, 11 from Wiggins, 10 from Iguodala, and 4 rebounds off the bench. Not bad. 9, and then 9, and then 8.5. So not too shabby, but clearly still more to figure out with this team. Let's see if we can beat the Orlando Magic, who at this point have Ace Bailey. Not fully developed yet, but it is still Ace Bailey. And we beat them, so we're in the playoffs. Let's go. So we draw Indiana, which is obviously the guy we took got Andrew Nembhard from. So we shall see if we can beat the Pacers. We almost beat Cleveland, so I wouldn't rule it out. Somebody current round, and okay, no, it's not going to happen. So still need a lot more talent, which is kind of expected. So I'm not really too disappointed by that. Knicks and Spurs, and the Knicks go on to win it all. Jalen Brunson is your finals MVP. All right, so here are all your guys retiring. So Harden's retiring a Spur, Drew Holiday, Al Horford. So a lot of interest retirements there. For the lottery, we obviously don't have our pick. We traded it, but at least we got into the playoffs as Utah has the first overall pick. And then, yeah, we need to fix that. But our pick is obviously going to the Pacers at 18. So we'll have to don't worry about that. And now we can hire an actual head coach, which feels good too. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. So let's fire our head coach and let's go after somebody for real. So let's see what we got as options here. So, okay, there's some interesting options at the top. So Mazzulla, we could reunite Mazzulla with Tatum, maybe. I don't know if Mazzulla would accept that offer, but we'll offer it anyway. Will Hardy, I believe, used to be an assistant in Boston, too, so we can go for that. And then, last but not least, we can give, I guess, Jason Kidd an offer, too. So let's see. So Joe Mazzulla will reunite with Jason Tatum, so that feels good. So no more of who we had before. Mazzulla is now our head coach, so that feels pretty good. And now we can head to draft night, and I'm going to fix those picks, and I will see you guys with what's next. So no draft pick for us whatsoever, so we're going to skip right past the 2026 draft as we have a couple options here, which I will go ahead and decline Chris Murray and Dixon, but we'll accept the rest of these three. And then qualifying offers, Quentin Post, who's been fine, but I think we can let him go as well. And then for free agency, we do have probably money to spend if we wanted to. So what do we want to spend it on is the question, because to me, right now we have our point guard with Andrew Nembhard going forward. Shake Milton as a backup isn't horrible. Shepard is a backup too, and we really don't know what we're going to get out of Richardson next year yet. And Shepard could be moved to the 3 if needed. Reed Council here too. Gee, and then Tatum, and then Kita and Iguodala. So obviously a center and a shooting guard could be probably the main positions you could say we needed right now. So you have Luka Doncic, which do we have Luka money? We do not, but we're pretty close to having that kind of money. Chet, Durant, Jaren Jackson, Trae Young, De'Aaron Fox, Dyson Daniels, which is kind of an interesting one to grab. I said I needed a shooting guard, and we could have a Nembhard Daniels backcourt with Wiggins, and then we would need a center. I don't hate that. Now, if we threw this much money at Dyson Daniels, we have no money to go after anything else. I'm not really sure I could get there, unfortunately. So let's scroll down the board and maybe be a little bit more budget spenders. So we have Austin Reeves, Jabari, Tari Eason, Shaden Sharp, Mark Williams, Christian Brown, and Jaden Ivey. So Jaden Ivey and Isaiah Hartenstein kind of have my attention as two guys I would love to target here. So I think that's where we're going to go with this. I think there's going to be like two guys, and then Matherin's also an interesting one too. We can bring in the 2 guard. I don't go for him very often. And he isn't asking for a ton of money either. So let's see if we can get Benedict Mathurin, who is restricted, so I have to keep that in mind. I'm going to throw Mathurin a contract. He's listed as small forward right now, but he'd probably move him to the 2. And then Hartenstein is my other guy I would love to go after if we can get him. So let's see if we can't get Isaiah Hartenstein on this roster too. We're going to go for him, and then we might have to dump another contract potentially. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Let's see if both of them even sign with us. So, Mathurin, so this would take us over the salary cap. And, okay, so still would. So, we probably are off by, like, what are we off by? Cap room. So, let's figure it out. So, I guess the one player we could dump would be Wiggins, technically. And that'd probably save us the money we need. And I thought Wiggins would be kind of a guy we'd keep around, but he is making $8 million right now. So if I dump Wiggins off, and I think we could trade him, I mean, bringing in Mathurin and also Isaiah Hartenstein to me could be a huge W. So Charlotte's offered me a couple firsts for Wiggins, Drummond, and a first, but I'm trying to save as much money possible here. So Brooklyn wants to give me a top 10 pick. Sure, we'll do that. And that should give us a... No, it does not. Damn. Okay, what about if we renounce these? Okay, it does. So Mathurin, Hardenstein. The Pacers match my offer sheet, which is fine. No big deal. We can go after somebody else. So I'm also going to go after Jaden Ivey too. So I don't hate the idea of Jaden Ivey. I don't know if we have enough for both of them with that much money though. So Hardenstein, we don't. Okay. So I'm going to settle on Hardenstein still, and we'll see what shooting guard we can afford after that. So we may have traded Aaron Wiggins for no reason, but we'll figure it out. There's still some options here. So we're about $5 million off. I'm going to throw Ivy this sheet or offer. He says no. So let's maybe scroll a little bit, and then we'll see if he still remains. And he's still there right now at the moment. So let's see if he's willing to accept a cheaper offer yet. Not there yet. We're getting closer, I think, to that being a possibility. He's unrestricted now, so Detroit cannot match the offer. Still don't have enough, so we have to go to day 12 and see if there's a difference here. Okay, so day 12, Jaden Ivey, what do you think about a 4-year deal? What if we do player option? None of that. We can't do no trade clause, unfortunately. 2+1 or 1+1. Let's do a 2+1. And he does, I think he's going to accept that. So Jaden Ivey would be our addition there. So nice. We get Jaden Ivey on the last day. So now we have Tatum, Ivey, Nembhard, Gee, and then Iguodala, Ricky Council. Hardenstein, of course, is in addition to. This feels good. I think this team could actually do something next year. So now the rotation looks like this. You got Nembhard, Shake Milton, Jaden Ivey, Ben Shepherd. You have Ricky Council. Probably move Richardson. Or actually, I guess it's going to have to be Shepherd. So we'll move Shepherd to the 3. So it did suck, of course, to trade Wiggins away. But Shepherd to the 3 is going to go up to 79. And we never really started Shepherd before, so that could be interesting. But we have 2 Pacers teammates. Could have had 3 if Mathurin would have accepted, or didn't get matched, I should say. But this could be a good team, I think. So we'll see how year number 3 goes. We'll look at the rotation all together here in just a second. But I'm feeling good about the idea of this team being maybe a contender, because it's not impossible, I don't think. So power ranking actually has us as the 5th overall, which is nice. So we're 4-star balance under Joe Mazzulla, and this team feels legit. I think this team could actually make some noise this year. So we have Nembhard, Ivey, Shepherd, Tatum, Isaiah Hardenstein, Iguodala, Gee, and then Keita, and then Shake Milton, Ricky Council. I might even go to a Naman rotation for this. And then what are shot tendencies looking like? So obviously Tatum's going to score, which is fine. Ivy is our second scorer, which is great too. Nembhard, I'm going to give Nembhard a little bit higher shot tendency because I want Nembhard to be a great player for us too. But other than that, I think this feels pretty good. So Tatum, Ivy, and Nembhard, we'll see what that looks like. Obviously Tatum will still lead the way, but with 2K being so high on us, I have a great feeling about this. I don't know if we'll win a championship this year, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility either. But I guess we'll see how it goes, and I will see you guys at the end of year 3. Victor Wembanyama wins MVP. Boozer is your Rookie of the Year. Anthony Simons is your 6th-man Women Defensive Player. And then Vijay most approved in OKC. So they must have got him with a 7th overall. Nope, 13th. Wow, 13 in 2025 is pretty wild. Booker Clutch Player, and Kidd is your Coach of the Year, and Hobson is your Executive. So here's your NBA first team as Tatum makes it, which is great, averaging 33 points per game. So he's been fantastic. Jaden Ivey, wow, also, whoa, okay. I was not expecting this kind of outburst from Jaden Ivey, but 25 points and very good. Wow, okay. I don't think I've ever seen Jaden Ivey make an All-NBA team, but he did for us, so we will take it. That's awesome, man. Great, love it. The Baltimore Blue Crabs have Caleb Wilson as an all-rookie second-team representative, but we got to the 2nd seed in the East, so very interesting. But here are your player stats. You had 33 from Tatum. Oh, wow. All right, Nembhard averaged 20 as well, up to an 87 overall. Man, like I said, this is why I've been having so much fun doing these expansion rebuilds. We've just been kind of bringing in players that I had no idea had these kind of capabilities. Like 20 points. I know I pushed a shot tendency. I didn't even give a shot tendency up that high, but he averaged 20, which is great. So I think this team might be able to win a championship. We'll see, though. We'll see. Hardenstein averaged 6'9" and a block, so that's what we kind of need out of him. But all right, here goes nothing. So we play Toronto, which is our fellow Canadian team. So we'll see if we can't beat the Raptors, as we got our starting 5 against theirs, which is Igor, Grady Dick, Ingram, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, and RJ Barrett off the bench. So could be tough, but let's see how this goes. The Battle of Canada, and we will be up 3-1, but we beat them in 6. Okay, we take care of them in 6 games, and now we get to play the Chicago Bulls. So Chicago has Giddey, Kobe White, Middleton, Keegan Murray, Rob Williams, and Mataz Bazela. So game 1 goes to us. Game 2, they even it up. Game 3 goes to them. Game 4 goes to them. Wow. quite surprised by this, but I thought we had this series in the bag based off looking at the Chicago team roster, but maybe not. Perhaps not. Maybe the Chicago Bulls. Okay, wow, a little surprised by that. We're gonna lose 122 to 118. I thought for sure we would beat that Chicago team, but no. I guess 2K had other plans. I'm quite surprised by that, but all right, all good. So we get to play. Chicago made it all the way to the playoff or to the finals, and the Timberwolves beat them in 6. Okay. Let's look at the retirements. Let's go to the lottery, and let's see. I mean, we don't have anything going on here, obviously. Pelicans, Thunder have number 2 overall. Of course they do. We'll leave Missoula. I don't think we have a draft pick from some of the trades we made. Then player options, we have Iguodaro, and then Richardson might even be like a better rotational piece this year too. And then Ben Shepherd is your starting, or it was our starting 3 last year. Obviously, if there's one position we could probably upgrade it, it would be the starting small forward spot. So let's bring Gee back. Let's bring Shepherd back as well. Ricky Council is an interesting one. He didn't really play for us last year. And then Shake Milton and Keto could probably let both of them go. So I'm going to sign these 2 back only. And I'm going to figure out what it could look like next year. Because we could technically move Tatum into the starting small forward spot if we wanted to. Because Richardson, I don't know. Richardson's probably going to stay on the bench, actually. Shepherd, and then Gee and Tatum, Iguodaro, Hardenstein looks good to me. All right, so we need a backup 3 or a starting 3 and backup point guard. So backup point guard could be Sasser. Actually, I like that idea. Let's get Sasser a 3-year deal, see if he can sign that. I don't know if he will, and he does. So we reunite him with Jay Ivey. And I guess in this scenario, we could bring in Jonathan Isaac on a minimum, and we might be able to move some things around here in just a second. So we'll rock with that for now. Let's go to player regression and see what that looks like. So player regression should be on our side, hopefully, with... Okay, so Richardson hasn't... I mean, he's going to be a good bench piece, nothing more. So Shepherd's up, Iguodaro's up. So I think if there was, like, one position we could upgrade, it would obviously be the small forward spot, which we'll have to see if there is a capability of doing that at the deadline. But if the team is just doing too good, then I may not mess with it. I'm really surprised we didn't beat that Chicago team, because I think that Toronto team was balanced way better than they were, and we took care of them in 6. But Chicago had our number for some reason. But we'll see if it's any different next year. If I stop the deadline, I will show you. But let's see if a championship can't come our way next season. Jason Tatum wins MVP, averaging 33 and 9, which is a ton of fun. But let's see if a championship doesn't come our way this time. So does Ivy make an All-NBA team again? Not this time, but it was cool seeing him make it last year. Offense first team and all defensive second team. We're the 2nd seed again. So this almost looks exactly the same. But what do we got? Toronto and Boston, 2 teams we dealt with last year. So we might get one of them here in the first round. So we had 33 from Tatum, 22 from Ivy, 16 from Nembhard. And it's because Richardson had a bigger role this year. So despite his overall not being the best, I mean, 16 off the bench will absolutely take. We played Toronto again. So Toronto was the team we took care of last year, but I will say Igor developed for them. That could be a difference, maybe, and it has not actually made them worse, I guess. Okay, so we're not doing Chicago this time, and now we get to play Cleveland, who we played earlier, and we pushed them to 6, or yeah, I think it was 6 or 7, but we'll see if we can't beat them here. So game 1 goes to us, game 2 goes to us, game 3 goes to us, and so far we're undefeated in the playoffs, which is awesome. We get to play either New York or Washington. So we got a tied series, and now we got New York up 3-2, and it will be the Knicks. We have home court advantage in the conference finals, and we might find ourselves with home court advantage in the NBA finals if we are to beat the Knicks here. So let's see if it doesn't work in our favor. So we got Brunson, Brandon Boston, Peyton Watson, Josh Hart, Cat, Santi Aldama, Kolick. I mean, and then you got Alan Bernard. I look at this team and immediately I think we should win this series, but we'll see. So game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to us. Are we going to be undefeated in the East? No, Knicks decided to win 1. All right, beat them in 5. Okay, so we get to play the Spurs, which will have home court advantage against them. They swept the Blazers. The Blazers could have been an interesting matchup, but fortunately it'll be the Spurs with Wemby instead, which it feels like it always is. But all right, let's see how this goes. We've only lost 1 game thus far in this playoff run. So game 1 goes to us. Game 2 goes to us. Game 3, and we're going to sweep the Spurs too? Damn, okay. I think Richardson having a bigger impact this year off the bench has really swung our way. He's actually starting right now, so I'm trying to simcast and get some gameplay, but we're going to actually lose 3-1. So that's not great. So let's see if we can't bounce back in game 5. I guess we wanted to win at home anyway. That's what it was. I would love to jump in and see our court, but we may not have an opportunity though. Okay. All right. This is getting a little scary now. Okay. I would love at all costs to not do what I think is about to happen. So game 6 in San Antonio, just please take care of business. And it looks like we might, unless they come back in it, which they are slowly trying to creep back in it. But we are going to take care of business. I think it's a 2-point game with a minute 21 or minute 21 left. I would love if this was in Vancouver because it'd be cool to look at our court, but I'm going to see if I can't come out here and protect this lead for us. So we're going to have Tatum with the ball here. Wemby guarding us. So obviously Wembanyama, always a tough matchup. I got a screen from, I think that was Jaden Ivey I just got a screen from. I have no idea. Okay, let's give it to Hardenstein. Back to Ivy. Ivy is going to have, yeah, Robert Williams had no shot. And we're going to give the N1. Let's go. So that was beautiful. So we dunk around or get around Robert Williams pretty easily. And now we can convert the N1, hopefully. It's a 5-point game. So that was getting a little too scary. I couldn't trust the CPU simulation any further. So let's see if Wembanyama can get something going here. Hardenstein's going to guard him. And good defense. We'll take that. And let's go. We get the ball. We're off and running. Let's see if we get Tatum, maybe a 3 in transition or maybe just a 3 in general. Pop it. And no, not quite. Felt good about putting something up there, but didn't go in. Castle's going to try to get an easy transition. Not going to happen, though. Good defense again. Of course, Wemby with the link there gets the tip-in rebound. Okay, all good. All right, Nembhard is going to control the offense this time. Let's see. We can't make something happen here. See if... Okay, we got Shepard coming off a screen. Jaden Ivey 3. Slightly late, but it does go down. Let's go. 133 to 127. That was a big 3 from Jaden Ivey. We needed that really badly. Okay, now Nembhard's going to have the ball. We got Wembanyama trying to post up right now, and then Jeremy Solin's going to flush it home. All right, so Nembhard's going to have... Oh, foul. Oh, yeah, they're going to obviously have to foul now. So this should be taken care of as long as we knock down both free throws. First one goes down. It makes it a 5-point game again, and then the second one should go down again, hopefully, and it does. Bounces again. 135 to 129. Where's the box score right now, by the way, to close this game out? So 28, 35 from Ivy. So yeah, he's been on fire. Then 32 from Tatum, 18 from Andrew Nembhard. So really nice from our big 3, which is an unusual big 3 that I never really had in a rebuild before, I could say. Sohan 3, that's not going in. That's it. That's all she wrote. So, oh, they're going to foul again. But I think that's going to be it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this rebuild. What a ton of fun this was. Free throw goes in. And we are going to be going home with a championship for Vancouver. These expansion rebuilds have been a ton of fun, man, honestly. So if you guys want to see another twist added on to one of them, let me know, man, because you guys seem to be enjoying these, and I've been enjoying doing them as well with new... Why are they still fouling? Wemby, it's over. Quit fouling me, dude. You guys are not coming back. Just give up. Okay, so first one doesn't go down. I'm just going to miss the second one on purpose. They don't even have a freaking timeout anyway, so... Full court, and it almost went in. But I'm going to end it there, guys. Thank y'all for watching. I'll let you watch Championship Celebration if you want to. I'll see you on the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.